Welcome to Live at 12:05. I'm Chris Claud, a volunteer here at the Isle of Wight County Museum. And today I have the privilege of being joined by my friend,
Julie Hess, also a volunteer at the museum.
And we've recently been going through a collection of P.D. Gwaltney Jr.'s business records that were donated to the library, a rather large collection. And today we want to talk to you about one of the items we found. It's this book, and maybe a little hard to read, but it says letter book, and it lists dates from 1880 to 1881. And one of the really interesting parts about this, that being an older person as I am, I remember these. This is called carbon paper, if you're not familiar with it. So the way it works, essentially, I'll get to a clean page here. The writer would write their script, the letter, on this paper, and it would transfer a duplicate, basically, of that in a lighter color, but it would give them a copy of it on this page. And I will show you some examples of that. And you can see here, the penmanship, of course, is just beautiful, very elegant. Some of these came out a little lighter, some came out a little darker, but the original letter would be sent, and then this book, as I said, would contain copies, so they could go back and look at what they had sent in the past. Again, dated into the 1880, 1881 era. One example of this is this one right here. In this case, it's to a company in Boston, Massachusetts. And one of the things we were able to make out here in the writing is that this letter talks about shoelaces. And you can see that they have the sizes of these listed in part of the description. And so we thought that was pretty interesting. Very nice collection and really interesting. I'll let Julie talk a little bit about it.
All right, and I'm just coming in with fun facts about the carbon paper, but it's also known as onion skin. It comes from its thin resemblance to the delicate transparent layers of an onion. It was first manufactured in the early 1900s. For typewriter use, they realized they could use carbon copy or onion skin in typewriters. They could use up to 5 sheets at a time, which was great, so then you could pass out 5 copies at a time. For today's purposes, we also know that CC on your emails directly relates to carbon copy, so it's still being used even though it's technically not there anymore.
My age, retired from Newport News Shipbuilding, and I remember when I first started working there in the early 80s, before email, before any of that technology, we literally had what we called 3-ply memos, and it was a top part that we addressed to the person. The bottom half was their response back. But we called them 3-ply because they had 3 more copies under it, and it was carbon paper in between. So we pulled off the original and sent it, and then we had 2 copies, that one we could keep, one we filed. So it was great back in the day. So thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next time. And meanwhile,
we're here just making copies.
Making copies. Thank you.
Thanks.